Hilchas Eidus Perik Shiva Aser. So here the Rambam discusses the dinim that an Eid Mipi Eid is considered a apostle Eid. In order to be able to say Eidus, you have to either see the act itself, or when we're talking about Eidus Mammon, if the person that owes the money was made in front of you, b'derech hidah, so then you could also say Eidus that person was made in front of. Masha'inkin, if you just heard it from someone else, even though that person to you is an Ishnamon, you heard it from many people, but nevertheless, since you didn't see it yourself, and that person wasn't made b'fan of b'negei Eidus Mammon, so then the din is that's Eidus and Eidus Sheker. We'll learn inside. Perik Shiva Aser. Mi shehidu le anoshim rabim ugdelim b'chachmo b'yira. Shehei meimrim shero pleni shavar aveda plenis. So many people, gdelim b'chachmo b'yira, told you that this person was over aveda plenis. Oy shalavim pleni, or they saw him borrow money. Is afal pi shehu maimin adover belibe ki'ilu ra'o. By him, there's no question that it's true, but nevertheless, le'yoid, he's not eligible to be an aid. At sheyira hadavar be'einav, unless he saw it itself. Oy, yoidale halevim ipiv. Now, by halva, by dini mamanis, if the leva says is moida with his mouth, he says clearly in front of him that he's being moida b'derech hidah, like we learn b'hemshach, that he owes this person money. So then you could say Eidus that person was made the b'fanav. V'yemerle, and that loiva said to him, Heyei alai aid, shepleni hilva limonis. So he said clearly he should be an aid, that pleni hilva limonis, so mele was b'derech hidah mamish. So b'chefim kazeh, the person could say Eidus. Is nachamol. You could not say Eidus on something that you didn't see, even though you heard it from many people that are very naman, but you didn't see it yourself, you can't say Eidus. B'negea mominus, you could also can't say Eidus unless you saw the person lend him money, or the loiva said, Heyei alai aid, shepleni hilva limon, shenamar v'hu aid a ra yada. So we learn out that it has to be ra. Now lepil, the pasuk says yada as well. So Chazal darshan v'ein lucha Eidus, shemiskayam is beria a b'yidia, ella Eidus moment. But again, Eidus moment doesn't have to be ra, it could be yada. How could it be yada? It's not yada because you're hearing it from someone else. Yada means that the leva was made in front of you, so you didn't actually see the halva, but nevertheless, you're yada because the leva was made in front of you. That's a Chazal say that it says ra yada, so there could be a ra without a yadil. Marshal, you saw the person give the person money. So also you're saying Eidus, you saw the person give the person money, even though you don't know for sure that it was a halva, and then the bezn has to be mavar whether it was a halva or not a halva. And al derech zeh, if you know that the person gave him halva, even though you didn't see, because the person was made that it was halva. But I'll call upon him, the nekudas hadin is that you can't be an aid mipi aid, and you could sometimes be an aid of yediyah. That's an aifan of halva, where the person is moida, hey you alai aidim, that person lent me money. That's the aid ra eyadav. Ein locha eidus shmiskayamis b'riyah b'yediyah ela eidus mammon. V'chol ha-meid mipi acherim, someone that's made something that he heard from someone else, is areza 8 sheker. Ve'ever b'leisase, shenama lisana b'reach 8 sheker, that's the law of saying 8 sheker, and that's included someone that's an aid mipi 8. Halacha beis, lefichach ma'ayim afal eidi amomen. There's been a eid in the foshes, you ma'ayim, because you don't want to be him that chas v'sholem to be larig dam noki. Even if lepel they take out mom and shalekedin, but eventually they could return the money. So why is there a necessity to be ma'ayim on edi mom? This the Lechem Mishnah explains, because since lepel and eid mipi eid is considered an eid sheker, and there's a concern that since a person may think that it's really true, so he'll feel comfortable saying as the eid mipi eid. So therefore, there's an iyum on edi mom in order they should realize that they're not allowed to say Eidus even benegei Eidus Mammon if it's an Eid Mipi Eid, because that's considered an Eid Sheker. Lefichach, ma'ayman afal Eidi Amammon. The Kate said ma'ayman aleim b'fnei akel. First of all, they say in front of everyone that's there, they tell them this iyum, umeidiya noisun, koyach Eidus Sheker, the koyach Eidus Sheker, which are the punishments which are caused, it causes hunger in the world, it causes milcham in the world, like the Gemara says, and also beishis hameidba, someone that says Eidus Sheker, so the bizoin of someone that's saying Eidus Sheker, saying the person that hired him, or saying other people that are aware that he said Eidus Sheker, say be'elam hazeh or be'elam haba. So that's what they medium. First of all, the koyach of Eidus Sheker, of what kind of punishments it's geirim, and the busha saying elam hazen, saying elam haba. V'char kach mitzinus kol adam l'chutz, and also the balidinim, Umeshayrim is agodl shebeidim. Only one person they leave over. Ve'emrele amer heichat yedeh shezeh chayiv lezeh. You're coming to say that Reuven owes Shimon money. How do you know that Reuven owes Shimon money? Im Omar shu Omar li chayiv anilei. He told me in passing. He told me that he owes him money. Oy ish pleini Omar li shu chayiv li. Someone told me that he owes him money. Is le Omar klum, because when someone else tells him that's avada, that's aid mipiyed. And even if hu Omar li, unless he said it derech hido, either he said hey you will edim, or he was teveya from him, and lepel was bebchinas hido. He says ani moide shat chayiv li at shani chayiv l'chamana. It wasn't just a sipur dvarim, because a sipur dvarim could be either shalei lasbias atzmei, or knows he was just saying it shalei lasbias atzmei. He knows he wanted people not to think he's rich. So Mimele, he says he owes this person money, or it could be a Metzias where he didn't say hey you will edim. It could be Meshata Niboch, different tainas that could be b'negei this moment. If he tells him clearly, he says, Mele, how do you know that he's chayiv liman? He says, Hu Amali just told me chayiv anilei. Ish pleini Amali shu chayiv alei Amar klum. Achiyemar befonenu hoidolei. In front of us, he made a hidah. There was a clear hidah shu chayiv lei. So if there was a clear hidah, so then that's enough to say either that he saw him actually lend him the money, or befonenu hoidolei shu chayiv lei. And then v'hi machnisun se'ed hasheni ubeit k'nei sikah. They would also be beidik. And nimtza devrei muchavanim. So then noisim v'neisim b'david, the dayanim discuss the din amongst themselves, and then the game radin. Then they come to a maskana. The kitzer, the iser, the nekudas hadvarim is that an eid bin piyed is not considered agodas eidus. And al derech zeh, if a person just said that he owes him money, but it wasn't said b'derech chidah. B'derech chidah means that he said either heyu alai eidim, as we'll see b'hamshech, and it was said clearly in the eifin of hidah. So only then is it considered a hidah. Now, hamatman edim lechaveri. Someone asks, knows, he hides the edim, and v'hoidole b'nei levinasme. He was a derech hidah, but lepel he asked him. He said, "Do you owe me money?" And he was made that he owes him money. V'edim royen v'shemim shuemale vaday yesh lecha etzli kach v'kach. The malva is money by the lave of the money. And he says, you owe me money. He says, it's true, I owe you money. I don't want to be moide in front of Bezdin that I owe you the money, because I'm afraid if I'll be moide in front of Bezdin, you're going to force me ledin l'mocher, and I don't have the money, and then you're going to force me to sell my things. I don't want to pay you right now. Is harezu eina Eidus, achi yeda b'fnei edim. So even though it was clearly a hidah, but lepel, a hidah is not considered a hidah unless he was moide b'fnei edim. Because he was aware that the Edom are there, and then there was a Hidah b'fnei Edom. Masha'enkin, if he was Moida and Lepel, it wasn't b'fnei Edom, that's Achiyoida b'fnei Edom. He has to say b'derech Hidah. If he just says b'derech Sipur Dvarim l'fnei Edom, it's also not a Hidah. If he says b'derech Hidah, not b'fnei Edom, and Lepel, there were Edom, it's also not a Hidah. It has to be a Hidah clearly b'derech Hidah, and he has to be aware that it's b'fnei Edom. Now, Echad HaMeida b'fnei Edom, V'omar derech hidah, zeh yeshli etzli kach v'kach. In front of Edom, he said, zeh yeshli kach v'kach, and he said it b'derech hidah. Or, she'omar atem edai, she'omar heyu olai Edom, without saying ani moida. In other words, there could be a metzias that there's Edom standing there, and this person says, you owe me money, and he says, I admit that I owe you money. So it was clearly b'derech hidah, and there were Edom there, so over there you don't have to say atem edai. Masha'enkin, if he didn't say the lashon clearly, I admit that I owe you money, but he says, "Hey, you alai edim," that I owe this person money, so that's also considered derech hidah. That's this lashon pshat over here. Echad hamoide b'fnei edim, va'omar derech hidah zeh yesh li etzli kach v'kach. If Edom are standing there, he sees Edom standing there, and he says it derech hidah zeh yesh li etzli kach v'kach, without saying atem edai, eisha omar atem edai, where he said the words atem edai, eisha omar heyu alai edim. Ben Shamar Aleva, Ben Shamar Hamalva, V'shasek Aleva, Derech Maimel Dvarav. Either the Lev himself said Heyu Alai Edim, or the Malva said Heyu Alai Edim. The Tiveya, and he was quiet. Is Hare Elu Edim. Hare Elu Edim. That's Edim. So B'kitzer, in order to be considered a Hidah, it has to be either it was Derech Hidah b'fnei Edim. In other words, he clearly said Ani Moida, or he didn't clearly say Ani Moida, but he said Hare Alai Edim, that I owe this person money. So the din is harei elu edim. Vein tzarich leimer im kana biyad. If there was a ma'asakinyan that he owes this person money in front of Edom, esha amar lehem, or he told the Edom, kisvu alai shtar, sheyesh lezeetzli kach v'kach. So that's certainly an union of Eidah. He's telling the Eidim to write a star that he owes the person money. V'chol ki eitzu b'dvarim elu hareihem Eidah u'meidim al piv. So in order to say Eidus b'negei Eidah, it has to be either he was derech Eidah b'fnei Eidim and he knew that it was Eidim, or he wasn't clearly derech Eidah, but he said hayu alai Eidim. Either the Levi said hayu alai Eidim, or the Malva said hayu alai Eidim, and he said words that says I owe you the hayu alai Eidim, that I owe this person money. So even if we would just say I owe this person money without saying hayu alai Eidim, so that's not called derech Eidah. If he just says, but if he says hayu alai Eidim, that I owe this person money, so that's considered also Heidah. So again, if he says I'm moida that I owe this person money without saying hayu alai Eidim, that's considered Heidah. If he says I owe this person money and he says hayu alai Eidim, so that's also considered derech Heidah. And certainly if he tells Eidim to write a star that I owe this person money, so certainly these Eidim could go ahead and say Eidus that he owes the person money. So B'kitzur, Eidim Eid is not good. It has to be either you saw the actual halva or you saw the Heidah. Question is, what happens if you saw L'moshel Eidus say Eidus in front of a bezin? You heard Eidim say Eidus in front of a bezin. Lepel, there was no psak din of bezin. You heard the Eidus say Eidus before the bezin. There was already a chkiru drisha on the Eidim, and it came to the point where the Eidim wouldn't be able to be chayzer from that Heidah. They would be considered a chayzer or maggid. Now, could you go ahead and say that I'm saying Eidus, that this Eidus was already niskabel bebezin? No, I'm not saying about a psak din. I'm just saying this Eidus was niskabel bebezin as a Eidus. Is that considered an Eid mipied, or is that not considered an Eid mipied? That's considered. That's a machlekes rishenim, machlekes between tesus rid and tesus, and that is a machlekes achreinim b'negei this inyan halacha, whether or not a person could say Eidus that the Eidus was niskabel and bezin. In other words, the bezin that they themselves will mekabel the Eidus obviously could go ahead and paskin the mashal. Someone from one bezin and a person from another bezin, and they were both mekabel Eidus from someone, so then they could go ahead and paskin based on that haggadas Eidus. Masha'inkin, a person that saw this kabbalas Eidus, and now he's saying Eidus that there was such a kabbalas Eidus. Is that also considered Eid Mipiyad or not? That's a machlekes. Halacha hei. Talmud she'amar li Rabbi, Yidei ata shem nesli kol mammon ha'olam, eini mishaka. I would never lie for anything. But you should know the truth is, money yeshli eitzel pleni. There's someone that owes me a mana, and v'yeshli olav eidachad, and I have an eidachad. Leich v'tztarafim. You go ahead and join this eidachad and say that I'm going to say this. There's one eid that actually saw it, but I'm telling you that this is the truth. There's im nitztarif if lepel this Talmud listened to his rabbi, and he was nitztarif to be an 8 sheker together because he was an eid mipi eid harei ze 8 sheker. That goes into together 8 sheker. The fact they'd heard Mirabi doesn't make a difference, even if he's coming as a one aid together with another aid which claims that he actually saw the story. Now Amrle, he told him, don't go ahead and say the Eidus. Boy v'amoidim aid. Go stand next to the aid. Don't say Eidus. Kadei shiyira haleva. Whereas the Malva is tying this rabbi is saying to this Talmud, saying, listen, this person owes me money. Lepel, I have an eidecha that he owes me money. But Lepel, I'm afraid that he's going to deny it. So I want you to stand together with the other eidechot. So therefore the Malva should think, the Levi should think that there's 2 eidim, and Memela he'll be made on the truth. You won't have to say any eidus. But you're pretending to be an eid. Amalei boy v'ameidim eid. V'leitoi, don't say eidus. K'dei sheyira haleva. The Levi should see you standing there. V'yifachid, and he'll be afraid. V'yalal daitai sha'atem shnei eidim. And therefore, v'yedim yatzmi is also a reza osur lamid ulahare shuhu eid. Because he didn't actually say the sheker. He just said he was standing next to the aid, and the Levi was under the impression that he must be an aid. So that also goes into together with Dvar sheker tirchak. There's pretending to be an aid if you're not an aid. Halacha zayin. Hasoicher eidi sheker lohoy lechaver. He wants to help someone out. He knows that this person really is owed money, so he goes ahead and hires Eidus Sheker to say Eidus on behalf of somebody. So the din, and Lepel, as a result of that, he caused that other person to pay money. So the din is potter midini adam, b'vechayiv midini shemayim. In other words, Lepel, you didn't take the money yourself, so therefore you're potter midini adam, you don't have a din of a mazik. But on the other hand, you were geirim through the fact that you hired Eidim, you were geirim that that person should lose money. Therefore, yechayiv midini shemayim. V'chein eidechad. Shekavish Eidus Evilei Hayed. In other words, he knows Eidus to help somebody. And Lepel, he didn't say his Eidus. And he was Kavish Eidus Evilei Hayed. is potter midini adam v'chayev midini shemayim. He's chayev midini shemayim because could be if he would have said his Eidus, so even though he couldn't have been mechayev someone mummy, but he would mechayev the person to shvur, and that person could be he wouldn't have wanted to swear, and therefore he would have paid. So Memela, so he's chayev midini shemayim. He's potter midini adam. He's chayev midini shemayim. It's brought down that Lashon Aram sounds like an Eidechot is potter midini adam. Mashenkin Shnei Edom are potter midini achai midini adam. Lepel Shnei Edom also potter midini adam. Knows if two people know Eidus and Lepel they could have said Eidus and been mechayev someone, and they weren't. They didn't say Eidus. They're also potter midini adam, and they're also chayev midini shemayim. So the chiddush over here is that even though it's an Eidechot and l'chura lav dafke, he could have been mechayev that person money because that person could have sworn. But nevertheless, since it's possible that that person would have paid, not sworn, so therefore he's chayiv b'din shemayim. So the chiddush of it that an eidechot is also chayiv b'din shemayim. But on the other hand, you won't say that two eidim are chayiv b'din the other.